So, we're going to try a cooking video again. I know I haven't done one in a long time, but I'm going to give it a shot and see if maybe I can make this nice and relaxing, and I'll cook you guys some dinner. Okay? So, this is a recipe from one of my HelloFresh boxes, and we're going to make sweet Italian sausage with warm Orzo salad. It sounds really, really lovely. And I just put a large pot of salted water to a boil. It's actually kind of funny because I was shaking some of the salt from my salt shaker. I have a salt and pepper shaker. And I realized that the top wasn't screwed on well. So a couple pepper pieces got into my salted water. And we're going to just let that go and see how that goes. So I may have to warn my husband. He may have to pick out some black pepper from his Orzo. And now we are going to coarsely chop the parsley and mince the garlic, finely chop the red onion, quarter the baby carrots lengthwise, and halve the tomatoes. We're going to cut the zucchini lengthwise and slice into thin half moons, and then cut the bell peppers into 1/4 inch strips. So let's go. I'm just going to have you follow me. Okay. So here's my parsley. We're going to coarsely chop it. And that, I'm going to put this in my recycling. Actually, not my recycling, into my compost. I have an indoor compost that we then move outdoors. And I'm going to get a bowl to put this parsley in. Let's see. We'll just get a little bowl from my cabinet. That is fine. Just clean that up, put that in my compost. Hope you guys are all having a good day today. I have a bit of a runny nose today, so if I sniffle, I apologize. That kind of drives me nuts when other people do it in videos, so I'm going to try not to do it much. And of course, chop my garlic. One of the nice things is your garlic comes already peeled. Seems like a silly thing, but it's an extra step I don't have to do, and I appreciate it. We had an exciting, busy day today. I worked all morning, and then we went to like an indoor bounce house place. And my son played and wore himself out. And he played so hard that he actually earned watching some television this afternoon. So he is in the living room with my cheapo little tablet. I got my tablet for 80 bucks. And it's actually doing everything I need it to. I was terribly afraid it was going to be a complete and utter piece of garbage, but it's not. It's fine for watching Netflix. It's fine for the main reason I got it, which is so I could read the audiobooks that I'm narrating without you hearing me click my computer keys to move on to the next page, so I can just scroll to the next page with the touch screen. It works perfect for that. And I am just very careful not to download a gazillion apps on it. I think I've only downloaded 3 apps. And it's like Netflix and Pandora for my son. And for me, a PDF reader. And that's pretty much all I've downloaded, I think. And I think if I don't overload it with a million apps, it will be fine for my purposes for quite a while. So I would love to be able to use it for videos, but I think at that price point, if I tried to use it for videos, I would quickly screw it up by downloading too much and just having too much on there. And I did get a year warranty for it, because the one thing I found out from reading reviews with these cheap little tablets is that they're fine when they work, and then sometimes they just don't work. And I've actually run into that with this tablet already. I've run into, like, one day it just decided it would not load anymore, and I had to reset it, and then it worked fine. But I think I would have been really pissed if I didn't have the year warranty, and I knew, it's new enough that actually I would have been able to return it to Amazon at this point, but I have a feeling that can happen again in 6 months, and maybe it won't turn on that time. So, but for right now, I actually got it for free because, well, no, I think it all in all cost me $18 with the warranty, because I was given a very lovely gift by my boss for Christmas, and it was an Amazon gift certificate. And I tried to think of what I wanted to get with my Amazon gift certificate, and then I really wanted a tablet so that I could use it for audio recordings, and thought this one for $80 is probably going to suck, but I'm going to try it anyway. And it's been fine. I've been very happy with it. And it actually is nice, since we don't have a television. It is kind of nice to have an alternative source to let my son watch television every once in a while when I want to record something. Because in the past, if I wanted to have him watch something, I had nowhere to record. So if he was watching, I was not recording, and when he's watching things is sometimes the best time for me to record, because he's being quiet. So, alright, let's see. Add the peppers and onions. When does the garlic go in? Okay, so the onions and the peppers are going to go in before the garlic, so I'm going to keep the garlic separate if I can. I kind of mixed it in already. Let's kind of separate that a little bit. Put this garlic in this bowl, if I can do it without making a ginormous mess. As you can tell, I am now a professional cook. These videos are really not for cooking purposes. They are hopefully relaxing. Relax. Relax. Do you remember when you were a kid? And I remember being a kid and people joking with me that I was on acid because my pupils were always really large. And they would always do, "You're running through a forest, and you hit a tree." I don't know if other people did that. It was always really stupid, and I would always get really annoyed with people. Especially when, well, we won't go there. But, yeah, it was silly and annoying, but kind of funny when I look back at it now, because it was so stupid. Okay. So I'll put this and my zucchini in this bowl, although this bowl is probably not going to be big enough. wasting a whole bunch of dishes, but luckily my dishwasher is not very full, so I will have enough room for it. Okay, I'm going to move some of this stuff around so that I have enough room for everything. Let's put these over by the stove. I do not have a very big kitchen, as you can probably see from my videos. It is functional. We didn't used to have this butcher block. This butcher block is something we bought 3 years ago. A little less than 3, yeah, a little less than 3 years ago. Sorry, just wanted to wash that zucchini. And we bought it a little less than 3 years ago, and it's been such a wonderful addition. It actually worked out perfect because it's right underneath a window here. And normally a butcher block the butcher block came on wheels. And with the wheels, it was a little bit too tall for the window ledge, but we just took the wheels off since we weren't going to move it around anyway. And it fits perfectly. So it's given me another cooking space, and I love it. And it makes a great big difference, so I use it a lot. And I just added this pepper plant here. I don't know if you can see my pepper plant. I'll show you later. But I have an arrow grow that I got for my birthday one year, which is like a hydroponic gardening system that I use in the winter when my real garden won't grow and I want to see things growing and green things. And I grew hot peppers this time, and they've gone insane, and they've grown so tall that they're getting ready to hit the lights of the hydroponic system, so and they won't stop growing, and the lights don't go any higher. So what I've had to do is just transplant some of them, and I don't know that this one's doing real hot actually being transplanted, so I'm gonna water it, see if it will get happier. But yeah, I moved it because the leaves will start to burn if they hit the grow lights in the hydroponic system. So let me see. Okay, so there's my zucchini and my onions. One of the things I've learned is to really read through the recipe before I cut things, because I don't like to use multiple cutting surfaces if I don't have to. So I need to know what needs to go in what bowl, so I don't mix everything together like I did with the garlic and the onions when they don't actually go into the pan together. Alright, what else do I need to cut? Baby carrots. Quarter the baby carrots lengthwise and have the tomatoes. Quarter the baby carrots lengthwise. Really? That's not going to be easy, is it? Okay, well, if they say so, so let's cut off the tops. You know, I'm looking at their picture, and they don't look quartered to me lengthwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to cut that in half. And that's how I'm doing it, because that looks more like the picture that they have. Because look at this picture. I don't know how well you can see that. So look at those pieces of carrot. Those do not look long enough to be this whole carrot, just quartered. They look like it's got to be cut in half, so. Alright, doing it my way. My dinner, my carrots. I have started altering the HelloFresh recipes a little bit. Because I often want to make them healthier than they are. So there are my carrots. When do the carrots go in? Add the carrots and zucchini. Ugh, I messed it up. Okay, so the carrots and the zucchini go in together. And then the onions and the peppers going together. I don't know why. I read peppers. I read it out loud to you guys, and I still put the zucchini in. In my head, it was zucchini. I don't know why. So, okay, so now we have the carrots and the zucchini, which will go in first. Alright, and my water is boiling, so I'm going to add my orzo in. And I'm going to cook it for 9 minutes. Alright, so I started my timer because I forget things. And if I don't, I will forget it. Okay, and I'm going to wash this pepper, put these in the compost. I hope you guys don't just mind when I walk away and you just hear the sounds of me cooking. Okay, and we're going to cut the bell pepper into 1/4 inch strips. So I'm very excited because on my Nutty McCreek channel I put out a giveaway today for one of my audiobooks, and it's a big event for me. I haven't been able to do a giveaway before, and I'm excited to do it. And I will plan some giveaways for my Boxtopia channel too. I'm starting to get enough subs for that to make sense, and I can give away my audiobook narrations now because those are easy to send around. I've been looking for something that I can send by email rather than by post for the giveaway, so that I can as easily give it to an international viewer as I can to a US viewer. And my audiobook narrations are perfect. I'm having tons of fun reading those. My first one was funny. It was the Out of Body Travel Foundation Journal #4. Actually turned out to be really interesting to read. I learned a lot doing it. I had to reread it because my audio quality wasn't good enough the first time, but that is okay. I learned a lot in that process. And you know, before I cut these, I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to put some oil in a skillet and start frying up my sausage. Okay, I moved ahead a couple of steps. So I chopped my tomatoes. I heated a tablespoon of oil in a pan, and you can hear the beautiful sounds of sausages frying. It is a very nice noise. I won't make you listen to it forever, but I think it's a great noise. For me, it's a very Sunday breakfast at home kind of noise. So it just reminds me of not having to go to school and not having to go to work. And it would actually usually be bacon that my dad was frying up. We wouldn't usually have sausages very often. Sometimes my grandmother would make sausages. So
So we are going to, when one side is golden, rotate to the other to brown evenly. Once that's done, I'm going to remove it from the pan and slice into 1/4 inch thick slices. And that alarm is that my orzo is done. So I'm not going to make you listen to me clank around and dump out my orzo, but I am going to dump out my orzo. Let's turn it off. Finish frying these sausages, and then I'm going to cut them into 1/4 inch thick slices, and then I will return when I'm ready to put those back into the pan. Okay, so I'm probably messing up this recipe now because it told me to add the sausages back in for a minute just to crisp up. But my sausages are really raw in the middle. So I think I'm going to cook my sausages with the vegetables so that they cook more. Because if I just throw them in at the end, it says cook them for a minute, crisp them up, and then add them in at the end, and only cook for another minute or two. This sausage will not be done if I do that. So I added in the carrots and the zucchini, and it says cook for about 2 minutes. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try to think of something else to ramble about. So I'll finish talking about the audiobook. I also just had published my second audiobook, which is Making Your Office Work for You. That was really fun. It's a longer book. I actually had to read it twice because the gain was up too high on my microphone because I'm an idiot with my, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting there, starting to know what I'm doing, but I'm new at recording audiobooks. So I recorded it with the gain too high and it distorted my voice. So there wasn't anything I could do software-wise to fix it. Pretty sound of sausage frying. So now my sausage is looking pretty good, and I probably can't separate it at this point. That's okay. Now I'm going to add in the peppers and onions, and it says cook that for 4 to 5 minutes. I am a really bad judge of time, so I am going to set an alarm for 4 minutes, because otherwise I will over or undercook this. Probably under, because I estimate 4 minutes is longer than it is. I'll cook this for 4 minutes. So Making Your Office Work for You was published. It's actually doing really well, which is nice because almost all of these audiobooks that I'm doing are royalty only, so, which I'm fine with. I like making them, so I'm running the gamble that I'm going to make some money off of them, but I may not. But it's nice. Making Your Office Work for You has sold a few, so I've made, I don't know, probably made like $2 on the hour since I had to record it twice, but that's okay. It was a learning experience and I like doing it. So it's one of the things I've learned about the internet. Don't do anything trying to make money. Do that something because you like it, and you might actually get some money down the road, but it takes way too long to make any money from my experience. That if you don't love doing it anyway, you're going to get sick of it and peter out. Like, I tried to blog for a while. I hate writing. I just felt like it was something I should try to do. And I hate writing, so it was never going to work for me because it takes way too long to even get people to read your blogs. So you gotta do stuff that you love. Luckily, I love doing these narrations. And I have another book coming out very soon. And it is called Yesterday's Kiss, and it is a genre I did not even know existed. It is a supernatural romance. It was the most fun thing to read. It's the first fiction that I've done, and I had to do a couple of voices. I had to try to do voices. So that's my next goal. I'm actually doing some voices in some of my YouTube videos on my meditation ASMR channel. I'm playing around with some voices because I'd like to be able to do more voices in my books. And so Yesterday's Kiss was just really, really fun to read. It's kind of historical, supernatural, romance, chick lit, like it was just a ball. And now I'm reading one that's called Coping with Anxiety and Stress. It's really good. It's really up my alley with these YouTube videos. She does a little guided visualization in there. She, I think, has a guided meditation later on. So it's stuff I love to do. It's stuff I love to read. It's stuff I think my voice works well with, and it's stuff that I think you guys would like. So it's a short little narration. It's about 2 hours long. I'll probably finish it in the next couple of weeks, and then as long as it's approved by the author and approved by the company that puts it out, my guess is within a month or so it'll be up on Audible and Amazon and all those. But they are so fun to read. I wasn't making many videos for a while because the Making Your Office Work For You book and the Forever Kiss book both were not accepted by the company that puts them out, pretty much back to back. So in order, normally I get to pick, I don't accept a contract if it doesn't give me enough time, because again, this is like my third job, so I would love it if I could do audiobooks full time, but right now I can't. So it is my third job, and it's the job that is most difficult to accomplish because I need quiet. I have actually converted a closet into a quiet room so that I can do them, but it only works so much. It'll, block out car noise and it'll block out my heater, but it won't block out a screaming 3-year-old. So I have to do the audiobooks when he's asleep or out of the house. So it gives me a very limited window as to when I can record. And because the 2 books were not accepted and I had to re-record them, I was scrambling because I didn't want the authors to have to wait. So what I was saying is that I'm a perfectionist, and I don't like disappointing people. So I had agreed to a certain date for the authors, and even though I had to completely redo the book, I didn't want them to wait very long. So I took the first book, which was 5.5 hours long, just to read, and then all in all, it was about 20 hours worth of work. I took that book and I redid it in a week. And the second book I redid in 4 days. So life was crazy trying to get those done, and I don't usually have that kind of time crunch. So that was my life for a while. And hopefully coping with anxiety and stress will go quickly. And this is pretty much done. I'm going to mix this with the Orzo and make a bowl and show you my finished product. And I hope this was relaxing. I hope this was fun. I haven't done a cooking video in a long time. Hopefully this one will be better than others. If you like them, please let me know. They are a lot of work, but if you like them, I don't care. I'm happy to do work for you guys if you like them. But if people aren't too keen on them, they're not very relaxing, they're not very interesting, I probably won't keep them up. So do let me know. Again, if there's 10 of you that love them, that's good enough for me. So just let me know. Alright, I will return with a bowl of beautiful sausage orzo.
And here is a beautiful bowl of orzo with sausage, and it is good. Could have more flavor, possibly. But I bet with the sausage it's really good. Let me try a bite of sausage. Good sausage. Although I might spice it up a little.